Happy Hour number 82. Today we join you on Sunday, September 15th, 2019. I'm joined with my illustrious sisters here on the east side, the side.
South Central LA.
And that was Debbie Dev here in the mix.
Debbie Dev here in the building.
DJ Jelly. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, still coming off that skit that we just did. So it's fine. DJ Johnny Rains. This is Daisy O, always ready for the show.
And we were joined with you with our old guest.
Yes.
Mr.
Knuck.IF.u.BUCK.
Mr.
Knuck.IF.u.BUCK.
So good to be back. So good to be back.
Always happy to have you.
Okay,
Yeah, so what's happening? So should we hop right into new music?
Yes, we
Yes.
shall.
Alright, so I got this new track. We're listening to Babouche. I don't even know. Babouche. From Jai Dinner and Gold Link from his 85 Africa album. But let's go into Jovonie. This one's called Magic featuring Flip De Niro. It's a single. Mario, remember? So
Mario.
I can be.
But he covered that. But he covered that.
Oh, you say he's just? Well, no, he took part of that the hook,
From-
right? You say I'm just a friend from Bismarck Key.
From Bismarck Key, but what was it? The beat came. It sounded maybe it was a New Edition song.
That was a remix too. Telling me I'm just a friend. You're telling me I'm just a friend.
Yeah,
That's
it
the song
sounds,
for sure.
yeah, this is definitely.
Got that same boom back to it.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
check
like
this out.
it.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
a new artist, R&B soul. Yeah. So also I got a little treat because Big Boy, Sleepy Brown, and Cee-Lo came out with a new track called Intentions.
Yeah. Okay. Sound funky.
They old man groove now.
Right?
This is like some stepping music, really.
Yo, for real.
You have to step real
I do not
fast
see
today.
why they have not. I do not see why they have not been pumping out some of these these hits that have been major crossover hits, especially for another generation. Because
Exactly.
I like the way you move. People still. I mean, they came out with a jazz rendition of it. You know,
Yeah.
a smooth jazz rendition of it. Everything, you know.
This could be music for us when we get older. Like this is like our generation.
Yeah, we already are, Devin.
Yeah, we're kind of.
Devin, I like the way you
We're
move.
old already.
Devin,
I mean, I'm talking about like when we're in our
Devin,
50s.
I like the way you move. Just think, I like the way you move. Came out 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been 16 years.
Yeah. Speaker Box Love
We're
came out in 03.
we're on the upper end of the millennials.
Yeah.
Like we're the older
We are.
millennials. That's just
Definitely
what
are. We're the pioneers.
we said.
Damn.
I was just thinking about that the other day. We were like the first exposed to major like computer access to the internet, like
cell phones,
cell phones,
smartphones.
Like we are in the generation where technology just boomed, like kind of skyrocketed.
Yeah, you ask a kid, what does it mean to have an air touch? They may not know what you're talking about.
They don't know what snake is.
An air touch cellular phone.
Ooh, Lord.
But they don't know what snake is on the what was that phone?
Right, the Nokia.
The
Nokia.
Nokia. They don't know about the Nokia.
That snake game
That
was
used to
my
be everything. That used to be everything.
Okay.
You got a phone, you better play Snake.
Right. On the bus from school.
Right.
Okay, that was my game.
Yeah.
Yeah. new single. So yeah, check that out. That was a Big Boy Sleepy Brown. I'm kind of excited to see what they got next because that one did sounded pretty
yeah, that one sounded real good.
Yeah, so
really good.
So next up we have Arin, Ray, and Kehlani with it's called Change. So he can hold a note.
Yeah.
The Weeknd doesn't seem like he can hold a note that much.
No, his voice is like, like I don't know.
I like The Weeknd.
Yeah. But y'all know what I mean.
I was talking about.
Hey,
just because you can write good music does not mean you can hold a note.
That's true.
Yes,
You know, that's why you get good singers to sing your song.
Yes, it is. That's why Kanye got his choir. Okay, did y'all see them in Chicago today? They were outside or somewhere. I just saw somebody posted a video of Chicago. It may have been from today or another service, but let me tell you how they hit them notes.
Yes.
Okay, every single one of them.
It's a really good choir.
It's a really good choir.
I don't know why it would be nice to see them actually like at an event that a lot of people could, I don't know.
I was wondering, do they ask people to pay money?
I was asking, like, do they sell tickets to that? Or,
I hope not.
I hope they won't.
Because this is one middle of nowhere, they just start singing, right?
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
They was in South
They was in,
Central
yeah.
not too long ago.
Right.
Like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, anyway. I was going to say, nobody knew, nobody knew that it was happening. It was just like, hey, you know, either you're there, either you know about it or you don't.
Right, but
Brad
you
Pitt
know,
got
them notes, let me get back to it, because they hit them. Okay, if y'all haven't seen them, you need to watch, because they be hitting the notes and bringing the spirit. Mm-hmm. Bless Kanye, so.
We didn't even talk about the dog on the phone.
Oh yeah, what you guys think of?
I liked it.
It was mellow. I liked it.
Did we get to Kehlani's part? I think we did,
I
right?
didn't even hear Kehlani's part.
She was like,
It's alright.
It's kind of fade in the background, though.
It's fade in the background music.
Elevator music?
It's elevator music.
Right.
You know, it's that art gallery
department
music.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah, department store,
Fade
art
to the
gallery.
background.
Art gallery, right.
Yeah.
So this is Naomi Sharon. This is a single called Breeze. This is R&B soul.
Breeze. Breeze.
Devin over here got her
Patti LaBelle.
right.
Devin being Patty will be proud.
She will be proud.
Child.
That is her signature.
Oh my gosh.
Is she black? Really?
Look at her picture.
Oh. Okay.
Got that Burning Man mask on.
It gave me a little Snow Allegra feel when I first heard her voice.
Yeah.
Snow Allegra
She
ain't
kinda
black?
sounds like her.
What's Snow
No,
Allegra?
the sound.
Oh.
Her sound gave me.
Yeah. Ooh, Snow Allegra.
Now she's
Allegra isn't black?
Snow, I thought she's mixed with something.
Oh.
No, I was like, what?
Yeah, Snow Allegra, she has a beautiful voice.
Amazing
Yeah.
voice.
Beautiful voice.
Oh
I've seen
my
her
god.
perform. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
She's
Oh, I didn't see her perform now. We just see her perform.
That was at the
Selection.
February at the Selection
Yeah,
Experience.
Selection.
Yeah, you were there, Daisy.
Yeah, I missed her though. I was
Oh,
trying to get
yeah.
there right, and then she had performed right
Right
before
when-
I got
right
there.
when-
I was mad because I was just trying to, and I couldn't find parking. And then she had just got off the stage. I was like, no.
And she glides across the stage like a cheetah almost.
Oh,
That's how
wow.
she just, and she was up in sweatpants too. I was like,
Really?
I was like, my God, Snow Allegra. Snow Leopard.
I can't.
I like this music though. It's very
This is Naomi, Sharon. It's very breezy.
Very breezy.
Okay, so
doesn't it make you want to do that? The petty?
Yes, definitely.
I don't know if it makes me want to do that.
I mean,
more like a walk on the beach, maybe. It's summer night.
I think a lot of songs make you in particular want to do that. You specifically want to do the patty move.
Oh my God, that's the move though. Okay. You're exercising your shoulders.
Alright, so this one is called Leading Us Home from Sampa the Great off of her album The Return.
Sampa the Great.
Sampa the Great.
Sapphire.
Right, some baby making music.
Some baby making music, yeah.
Wow.
That is when most babies are conceived in the fall.
That's correct.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh Lord. Okay, we gonna get it together.
Well, yeah, keep talking.
Right, well, we got some new news. Did you guys see about the girlfriends?
Oh, right, Blackish.
Yeah.
They're gonna do a special episode on Blackish.
Really? Girlfriends?
Yeah. Well, her girlfriends are gonna come on Blackish, like for a special episode.
Yeah,
like,
Tracy Ellis Ross
Yeah.
is bringing back the girlfriends.
From the
Oh.
sitcom
From
show,
the
The
sitcom.
Girlfriend.
Right.
So are they going to be, but they're not going to be who they were. Are they going to be Tony Childs?
I think so.
I think that was like the gist of them coming back. I don't know what their characters are.
Right, I don't know. Right, I don't know.
That was the idea. That was kind of how
They're
they
going to
were
be, it's
promoting
going to be a
it.
play.
Yeah, a play off the Girlfriends TV show.
Even though her name
That's
is
creative.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's not Joan anymore.
She's Rainbow.
But they are going to be like maybe her girlfriends from a past
College.
college or something.
All of them.
Right.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Look good too.
I used to love that show, y'all. That was such a good show.
My girlfriend.
Leave it to Devin to sing the song.
Dang, y'all.
That was a show.
It was a very good show.
I was going in. I was
you
going to
guys-
sing the whole thing.
You guys almost ready?
Well,
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
What's poppin'?
Wait, no, wait.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
What's
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
No.
What's
Okay.
poppin'?
We came
What's
in
poppin'?
off
You-
beat, okay? Verity.
That was my vibe.
And I'm thinking and that's new to me, so I'm thinking y'all doing something, I thought we were listening to T.I.
Right.
That's my song, that's my T.I.
No,
cut.
we doing the What's Poppin'
No,
section.
Darren had did this. We had came up with something like
A little intro music.
a little
Got
intro.
it.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
What's poppin'?
Well,
Yeah,
what's
anyways.
poppin' this week is, we've been talking about the boat with the people that passed away and it was on fire, the conception, and they just pulled it out of the ocean this past week. And I was saying before that the crew members were awake, or at least that's what I was assuming, because they all survived.
Right.
Come to find out, they were all asleep, which is against Coast Guard rules.
To be awake.
So that is a huge lawsuit. At least one person is always supposed to be awake whenever you're out to sea. And every single one of the crew members, as well as the passengers, were asleep, which is against the law. So they're definitely gonna get sued. And maybe the crew members too, trying to like protect themselves as well, saying like, let's just keep the same story and just say we was all asleep.
Right.
I'm like, how did they survive? But apparently their deck was higher than the passengers, I guess. So yeah, they just pulled that wreckage out and it's being investigated right now. But it's no boat. I'm not really sure what they're gonna find, but it was pretty much burned to a crisp. It was like just the lower level.
Well, they were able to find like the last victim they were able to.
Yeah, they were. They were able to pick up all of the bodies and everything, or the remains for sure. But that was an update. Did you guys get a chance to see the Hustler movie this past
No, I have not.
I heard about it.
I really want to.
Well, I want to see it, but I know that I have heard a negative review. Just one negative review, because my coworker, he said he watched it and he just thought the story was gonna go a different route than it did.
Right.
So he was, I guess, kind of disappointed in that.
Yeah, where there has been a lot of I would say mixed reviews. Some people like it, like all the reviews I've seen online, people love the movie. But I think mainly it's because of J-Lo's performance. Yeah. They say like she's always great. But it came in second this weekend at the box office, making $33 million. So I'm a huge J-Lo fan.
I heard the same thing that it was the storyline that kind of went dry because it kind of, well, from what I heard from somebody, like the movie kind of forgot what it was supposed to be about.
Oh wow!
Like in the middle of it, but that J-Lo's performance really was the thing that was most consistent throughout the movie that kept people captivated.
The gist of the movie, or it's like these ex-strippers that come together and they
start stealing from the white collar men who come frequent their clubs because they were the ones who came out of the recession. Because this happens this is supposed to be based a few years ago, right after the recession, and the fat cats on Wall Street who got away scot-free.
Right. And so they start selling, but I do think that it's a playoff of what Cardi B used to talk about, which was when she was a stripper, she would steal from the guys as well. Yeah, exactly. So I definitely think that it's one of the stories of the many strippers.
I want to see what she, how big her role is. In
Cardi B, I heard it's only like in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Keke Palmer,
she's in it too.
Lizzo is in it. Cardi B.
What the heck is Keke Palmer doing?
And Julia Stiles. Julia Stiles is in it too.
She's a stripper too.
Is she a stripper?
Yeah.
What?
Isn't Keke Palmer a stripper?
Yeah,
she's a
stripper.
stripper.
But they're ex-strippers, so they're not. I don't think
they're not
like,
stripping.
Yeah, I don't think they're stripping.
But I guess J-Lo is supposed to be like the main person.
Maybe Lizzo.
Who's the bottom girl?
I don't think Lizzo is.
Well, if you had a night, I don't know. They don't make. Yeah, I don't know. I was about to say they don't make places like they used to and have a nice bottle girl come out and give you something to drink.
Right, huh?
Nowadays it's like they kind of.
I mean, is the bottle girl the stripper as well? Like, right. I feel like in today's world they do both.
They do both.
Well, usually the bottle girl will work their way up to becoming an entertainer.
Right.
They have to pay their dues.
Right.
Oh, but in this day and age, they definitely cut out one of the positions.
Right. Since the recession, we have seen that this position has been eliminated.
Right.
Basically, now you have to get you have to bust your own drinks.
Yeah. I mean, it's not many bottle girls when we go to, what's that place? Crazy Girls.
Oh my goodness. Last time I went to Crazy Girls, I had a what they call a broke nigga moment of realization.
What was that, Derek?
Because, it was this girl, she was dressed in orange, right? It's not really orange. I in my mind, I called her tangerine, right?
She was neon.
Yes, just glistening in that them purple lights, you know. So I'm like, me, I try to be charming. Hey, what's your name? And she's like, nigga, I'm doing this for money. So if you ain't got no money, like you need to keep it up. I was like, I was like, all right. Turn my ass around, like I did have some money in my pocket, but
she came off a little strong.
She don't want to waste no time. Don't waste no time.
Right. But I'm like, shit, that's not my damn problem. You need to say your ass in the back if you're not trying to socialize with people.
But that's a part of the job. Like, you don't know what kind of money I got. I could have just been trying to get your attention so you could dance, so I could give you some money. But now you being mean as fuck. I don't want to give you no money.
That's the thing. Now. It must have been hard times. This fight for 15 hasn't been infiltrating these entertainment venues as much because obviously they were on hard times and you needed some stacks of bills in order to get their attention.
They got a show for they have a show with strippers, like it's about the stripper life.
It's a TV show? Mm-hmm. What is it called?
What channel come on?
I forgot what it's called. It comes on WeTV? No, not We.
Oh, damn. Well, you're gonna have to look that up. Just bring it up later.
No.
It doesn't exist.
Darren, what is that? Damn, I don't know.
We'll figure it out. I do want to switch it up though, because I want to talk about the fact that Felicity Huffman, this woman that paid thousands of dollars to get her daughter into college, got off with only going to jail for 2 weeks.
Crazy.
So you all know about this scandal that went on.
Pleaded.
And she did plead guilty, but
I'm sorry, but
I was only trying to improve the life. I was only trying to improve the life of my daughter by manipulating and paying this guy to falsify her record so that she could go to a good school because I didn't want her to go to a different school.
This is the same lady that plays the lawyer in
Desperate Housewives?
No, in When They See Us. Ain't she the one that played?
I don't know. I didn't see When They See Us.
Felicity Huffman?
The prosecutor?
Oh yeah, probably.
She was that.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah, she did play that.
The racist lady?
Wow, what a coincidence. I'm actually not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
I mean, she got white woman tears. Who was the lady that they sent to jail years ago for 5 years, a black woman?
Oh, right. The black woman.
Yeah. What was her name, though? They sent this woman to jail because she signed her daughter up in the wrong school district. Mm-hmm. And then the school wanted her to pay money for basically lying, but the woman was homeless. Right. So this black woman had to go to jail for 5 years for basically trying to improve the life of her daughter. Right. And she used the father's address. So it wasn't like it was the wrong address. It was still her address. She just used the dad's address. Okay. And then she had to go to jail for 5 years. But this white woman gets off.
And she did all that time?
Well, yeah,
she did all the time?
Yeah, one of them. So this has been multiple incidents.
I'm like, she's not. Yeah, exactly.
Because back in 2011, it was with Kelly Williams Bolar. So she sent her kids to a different school district, and so she was accused for lying about her address. And then in the same year, a woman named McDowell in Bridgeport, Connecticut, was arrested and served prison. Sentenced to 5 years, and she had to pay the school district.
And
back.
she had $30,000.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling y'all.
So how long was it until they found out that she was using somebody else's
they had sent a private investigator to find out that this woman was using the wrong address. Like the school district.
Why was they so on her head about that?
They went through leaps and bounds to try to find this woman, but then yet they give this woman who can actually afford to send her daughter to college or to a private school, whatever.
Get a tutor for her ass to pass the test.
And she also tries to cheat the system to get her daughter in. They only sent her to jail for 2 weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Y'all, I have a problem with our American government and society. Our justice system is completely corrupt.
Well, because they were saying, who did, because I guess in this thing, it was like, well, who would be affected by it? Is USC really affected by it, they were saying. And they're like, well, no, USC really isn't affected by it. But that's to me, that's a whole different frame of thinking about it, because you're thinking about a space literally that could have gone to somebody else's kid, whether or not they were rich or poor, but somebody who actually showed merit and actually studied for those things.
Right.
You know?
Actually wants to be in school.
Right.
And what Felicity Huffman did, specifically, was changed her daughter's SAT scores. That is what she paid money for.
That's the issue.
That's what a lot of people don't really realize, is that, like, she actually went, like, forget about a school district. She paid thousands of dollars to change her, which is a federal offense.
Yes.
Like, you are not supposed to change your child's SAT exam. That is an exam, a statewide, nationwide exam.
Yeah.
That also goes international. So she had the scores actually changed, and she gets 2 weeks in jail.
14 days.
You know what, these white women, I want to bring up this Netflix documentary that Chelsea Handler just came out with, because it really taps into the issue that we've just been talking about, which is white privilege. It's specifically called Hello Privilege, It's Me, Chelsea. Chelsea Handler, of course you guys know she's a comedian.
Right.
And she obviously has been noted as the white trash comedian. You guys realize that, right?
What?
Like, you didn't know, like, all of this
her jokes are...
the undertone.
Wait, I'm trying to picture her face.
Chelsea Handler, she had to show Chelsea lately.
Chelsea lately?
Wasn't she dating 50 Cent for a minute?
Yes.
Right, okay.
For her.
I just had to picture her face.
She is a typical white woman, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yes.
You know, and she basically, the documentary is about her being a white woman and how she got into comedy in the first place. So she had to realize, like, wow, if I was any person of color, would I have had an easier time, like, to get in? No, I would have probably had more difficulty. Like, why, as a white woman, why have I been able to use such vulgar language and, like, be so overt in, like, the things that I talk about? It's because of her white privilege. So she starts to think about this. So she goes on the documentary is about an hour and a half. And it addresses white privilege. She specifically asked white people on camera, do you believe their white privilege exists?
And most of them say no.
Most of them say no.
That is crazy.
But why would you, but Devin, why would you think that some of these people would actually think that they are more privileged than other people? That would make them think that, oh, well, maybe the stacks are, stacked for me, I mean, and that's to me, because if they over here are preaching, like, take yourself by the bootstraps, and they realize that they haven't, that they really haven't had to do that. For generations they hadn't had to do that. For generations their family hasn't had to deal with that. Then it's a hard thing to reckon with. Because that whole hard word mantra, when you realize that it hasn't been fairly applied, it's almost like disbelief.
And some of them even mentioned in the documentary, I cannot wait for you guys to see this. They talk about how black people actually have privilege because black people now are able to get into college because of their race. Like, some white woman said it on there was a moment that she said that on the documentary, and I was like, how misinformed are these white people about who gets into college? I said,
because people still think affirmative action is a thing, and affirmative action has not existed for more than almost 30 years now. Has not existed.
I'm like, they are so misinformed about the way that people get into college. I was just like, it's very true to me, and it's made me realize these white people don't read. They don't stay current with information.
No,
the way that they pass information is generationally by word of mouth.
Right.
So
but part of it is through the damn conservative news networks. The news that they watch, the people on talk radio that they listen to on the rural radio networks,
because they don't
spreading a whole bunch of rumors and shit and hearsay, and they just believe anything that they say.
At the end of the documentary, and I'm not going to talk too more because I really want you guys to see it, but one of the women says, what white people need to do is start researching facts. They need to start researching the truth. And then they will come to the conclusion about what white privilege is and how they can start to be a part of the conversation and make real change. Until then, they're actually not going to be very helpful.
Well, you know what? My first step to add to that, we spoke about it before, was if they still believe that Jesus is white, you know it ain't right. believe that simple fact that Jesus was a person of color,
he was not
I really don't see how they can think, anything else beyond that, or actually,
they're delusional.
Right.
They're delusional.
Actually, go from between fact and fiction. Distinguish between fact and fiction. Because if you sit up here and keep saying that Santa Claus, that Jesus Christ is white, Santa Claus is a white man.
Right.
I've heard that before. Megyn Kelly said that Santa Claus is a white man. Wasn't he
Bitch, Santa Claus does not exist.
Right. That's just like mermaid. Bitch, it don't even exist. It's a character. Fucking idiots.
These people are dumb. That's just all I have to say.
But I do think that we have to commend Chelsea Handler for becoming self-aware.
I agree.
Yes.
And the moment, I think Darren said a really good point. The moment that white people become self-aware and educated, that'll be a great day.
That'll be a great day because they would be.
I cannot wait.
They would feel so freaking stupid.
And really realize what people of color have to go through. Not that we go through it. We have to.
We don't have a choice.
There's no choice. No other option.
Exactly.
We have to sit there and listen to the stupid ass jokes that people fucking make, and just sit there and just be, or like when you're in the corporate world. That's what I mean. Like,
Hey, Devin, we got some watermelon here for you.
Sure.
I would look at them
What?
like.
I mean, honestly,
we got some watermelon.
I don't like watermelon.
Right.
We talked about this last time. I'm glad you guys brought it up.
In fact, like, what do you mean? I thought all black people eat
This
watermelon.
woman just won $11 million in a settlement for being harassed by her colleagues, by her white colleagues. She filed for social justice or filed a complaint against them, and just won a settlement of $11 million.
Good.
Because of her colleagues using derogatory terminology and all of those things. So all I say is the laws are actually on our side. White people don't realize that. You can't just walk around and say anything that you want. There's laws that protect us. So
depending on which course you go to.
And you will be held accountable.
True. But you got to keep the evidence. That's why I always say document everything.
Document.
That's important.
Yeah, so what else is going on and what's popping this week?
What's popping?
Rihanna's Diamond Ball.
Yeah, that happened.
That happened what? Saturday? No. Friday?
Yeah, that happened this past week.
This past week.
It was sometime in the middle of the week. I can't remember what exactly.
Wednesday or Thursday, maybe.
Yeah, but they were saying that she looked like she was pregnant.
Ooh, and she also did an interview, and she was talking about how she was explaining on the curse or just being a black woman or whatever, and she was saying how she came from a black woman, her mom came from a black woman, her mom's mom came from, she was like, I'm gonna have a black woman,
maybe was that about
when she said that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on,
why she saying that? What was she talking about?
Yeah, she said that.
I remember seeing that. So maybe she's talking about the fact that she might have a.
Just in future, she was probably just.
No, they also said she looks pregnant. There's angles that she was wearing this black dress. And there's angles of her having a little belly. And I was like, first of all, she could have been bloated.
Right. Okay.
Second of all,
she did get a little thick and thick.
Yes, I don't think she's gotten thick, but she didn't look pregnant. She looked pregnant thick, not to me.
Right.
I did see a picture. She looked pregnant to me, but it could have been the angle.
Right.
But who knows? She may.
And if she is, good for her.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
she doesn't better make another CD. She dropped that baby.
She's supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to come out in December.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out in December. Then she also recognized Sean King, and a bunch of people went up in arms about that because they don't think that he's a black man.
He's racially ambiguous.
He's racially ambiguous.
He's referred to as an American.
I mean, he looks mixed.
He don't look white.
He looks like he's mixed. Like
he's mixed for sure.
Yeah. But also, there's been a number of people that have said that he raises funds, and those funds don't actually get to the people. That's an organization he's raising money for. So there was a outcry.
I wonder if they have proof
of his recognition. Yeah, they do have proof.
Oh.
What kind of organizations is he supposed to be raising this money for?
Social justice activism related organizations. I can't name them, but I do know that it's definitely been in the news and conversations about it. And his wife recently responded on Twitter, and he wrote like a 38-minute read of a response from after his recognition. So he like actually wrote something that people could read about his response relating to this as well. And it's like 38 minutes long to read it, pretty much.
Damn.
But yeah, that happened. Darren, you said that Antonio Brown sued his...
No, Antonio Brown is being sued by his former personal trainer, who is alleging that he raped her.
Oh my goodness.
So this isn't a criminal. It's not a criminal case, but it's in civil. It's a civil case that she's suing him in civil court for this that supposedly happened last year.
What, isn't he married with 2 kids?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's married, and Antonio Brown, the whole saga with him, being traded from the Raiders to the Patriots right before the season started 2 weeks ago. And now, remember that whole thing about the helmet? Yeah. The whole helmet controversy. He had found a helmet company, Zenith, to sponsor him, and now, they're like, we don't want to be associated with you as of Friday because of this recent allegation.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, that's never a good look. Oh.
But he got
I mean, he's doing the most right now.
He
So
really is doing the
I
most.
don't know. Yeah,
He needs something to freaking slow his ass down.
Yeah, he does.
This needs to happen.
This is it right here. Sit your ass down. Think about what you've been doing.
It's like when you do too much and stuff like that people just kind of back away and like, what am I going to stick my neck out and be like, oh yeah, he's right. Oh no. You fucked that. You fucked the Raiders over, bro. The Raiders are my team.
Right.
Or basically, it's always gonna be Raiders.
Raiders freaking won against the Broncos. I was surprised.
Yeah. The Rams won today as well.
Yeah, Broncos freaking lost today against the Bears. That was a hot mess. Okay, because the Broncos were supposed to win.
Anyways, that was upsetting.
The Rams, did the Rams win? The Rams won.
Yeah, they did win. They won against the
Rams
Saints.
won. There we go. Well, Kim and Kanye are supposedly moving to Wyoming, Wisconsin, to live on a ranch. They've seen Kanye on his ATVs rolling around there, and they know that it's already bought. He already bought this, I don't know, it's so many acres. It's a big plot of land he plans on building on and expanding. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think he needs some quiet. I think Kim needs to get away. Right. I think nature is good for him.
I think it's be really good for the kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So good for them.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's all we have for What's Poppin' this week.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
All right.
Darren, you
need to find that effect. Just go ahead and find that effect.
Devin cannot.
Because she just gonna keep laughing.
Please.
I got nervous. I didn't know what was going on.
I tried to do it and not laugh, but I just couldn't.
You're almost there.
You're raising my blood pressure. People that's listening can't be driving, they gonna be swerving.
Like, what the hell is she doing?
Lord.
Oh my God, I tried, okay?
But that was good though.
All right.
So check this out. So tomorrow, 50,000 GM workers are gonna plan to strike. So the United Auto Workers Union, they have authorized the strike to begin tomorrow. It's gonna be the first strike since 2007.
They're not getting paid enough.
Yeah, just pay and benefits.
Good for
increases.
them.
So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. If you own any GM stock like myself, just stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
GM, 50,000 people.
That's a lot.
50,000 workers.
That's a lot of
that's
workers.
Across the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
First strike since 2000.
Yeah, so speaking of workers' rights, it was just recently reported that Jeff Bezos cut the health insurance for part-time workers at Whole Foods.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't that illegal?
Huh?
Isn't that illegal?
No. I mean, they're going to get a new benefits package next year, so he's probably already said to them, hey, look, when open enrollment comes, you guys won't be enrolling in anything.
That's messed up.
Go to the affordable. You know, go to. I mean, if they have a health, if they have a marketplace exchange like they do out here in California.
And I mean, many people are posting this and just saying like, stop supporting this man. He obviously doesn't care about his workers. He didn't pay taxes, and he's like a billionaire.
He's the richest man.
The richest man doesn't pay taxes and doesn't want to give his employees health insurance. Stop shopping at Amazon. Stop shopping at Whole Foods. I don't want no more of your stuff.
That is hard.
It's so hard.
That is hard to stop.
Go to Trader Joe's.
Right, go to Trader Joe's.
I feel like if you shop at Whole Foods, you can go to Trader Joe's. You can go to Sprouts. You can go to other places. You don't have to go to Whole Foods.
Have a hot bar.
They don't have a hot bar. That's what I'm saying. That's one thing you're gonna be missing is a hot bar.
Oh my god.
Well, go to Albertsons.
Or the little wine bar they have.
Ralph's.
They don't have that.
Go to Albertsons.
Ralph's got a hot bar.
In Chicago,
and
go to
Ralph's
Whole Foods. I go to the hot bar. It's a slide. I'm sorry.
Well, child, you ain't in Chicago, okay? There's other options out in California.
Supposedly, they're going to be offering these employees an opportunity to get full-time paying jobs at 30 hours a week or sign up for other health insurance options.
Also, they can't be a part-time worker. They have to become a full-time worker.
Okay. They have to become a full-time worker. So they're giving them that option or not. But some people don't have that option to go full-time.
And a lot of people that work at Whole Foods, you recognize them. They like students,
older or students,
younger. They don't have time to do a full-time job. They shouldn't be forced to do a full-time job, especially if they go to school.
Exactly.
Like, that's not right.
Or some people might have kids. They might have other obligations. This might be their second job.
Right. I am actually disgusted because you didn't pay no goddamn taxes.
That part.
And you don't want to pay for health insurance. To me, that doesn't make any
And you're supposed to be at Whole Foods.
And you got money.
They're supposed to be a best tip-top shape and in good health care as a, placing my nicely organic spinach leaves and roasted peppers and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get nobody sick and stuff touching all my stuff.
Right.
That's my issue too.
Pay for their health insurance.
If you take away their health insurance, how are they gonna? They gotta go to work and they're gonna be sick if they can't.
Right.
Anyways, you right, Sharon. But we wanted to bring that up because I definitely think it's an issue, and I don't want to shop at Amazon no more. So
I'm stop shopping at Whole Foods.
Yeah. All right. So the next thing, did you guys hear about these flavored e-cigarettes? So check this out. So last week, it was all these people dying. Apparently it was a bad batch of illegal vape products that have been going around. I even heard about these two brothers who converted an apartment into a little vape manufacturing spot. So they made so they would make vape pens and things, and those would be illegally sold. A lot of teens would get them.
Wow.
So one of the kids, they were up here smoking this stuff in class, and then one of them just passed out. They have to attach a breathing machine. Had to have lungs breathe for them. These kids, I'm stopped vaping. I'm not using that shit ever again. I don't want to use it. It's too risky. You don't know what the hell is in it. It says what's in it, but you really don't know. You really don't know.
And 6 people have already died in the U.S. this year alone because of it.
So this has prompted President Trump to act with decisive action. I don't know. He could ban other things that kill people all the time. But for this, he decided to ban flavored e-cigarettes.
Because supposedly the flavored ones is what's making kids more hooked on it.
Yeah. Now the people that have been reported dead, are they children? Are they teenagers?
Yeah, well, it's a mix. It's a mix. So some kids, but what they've been noticing is that it's pneumonia-like symptoms.
Okay.
So irritated lungs, difficulty breathing, gastrointestinal problems.
Okay.
Like upset stomach, things like that. Damn. So this is huge. Right now, but banning flavored cigarettes is not going to stop the issue.
Right.
No.
The problem is that it's been illegal batches going around. So what is banning the flavored cigarettes going to do with this problem? If this is a problem of enforcement of the drug, of them basically not enforcing this market.
Yeah.
It's unregulated.
It's definitely unregulated. Well, they need to get a handle on it. I think Donald Trump's response is pretty, it's the only thing he can do, but he's also, not as informed either.
No, he's just reactionary.
Yeah, he's super reactionary, so, damn it.
He's never informed. He is just told information and he repeats it.
Yeah. So because he went after Chrissy Teigen this past week, right?
Yeah, like a dummy talking about.
Like, why are you focused on Chrissy Teigen?
Because her husband, John Legend, never says anything nice about me.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That was actually really good.
That's really sweet. And that's sad because while you got the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Right. There's
in
other
a wreck.
things.
In a whole wreck.
Right.
Okay?
Well,
and you worried about.
But some of the U.S. Virgin Islands, our territory right there.
Right.
That's our territory. Those
Puerto
are our
Rico.
people. Puerto Rico.
Puerto
Still in
Rico.
shambles.
Like,
you know, and then all he can say is like, oh, well, they have a corrupt government. Well, who's at the top of it?
Oh my
fucking
God.
idiot.
Where are you at? So they have a corrupt government, so what, you're not going to give them any aid? You know, get out of here, man.
They're supposed to be our people.
It's
I don't understand why we're not
inhumane.
helping.
They are our
It
people.
makes no sense.
You know, and once those people move over to the United States and they're full, you know, they get their full voting rights, you know, here. They're U.S. citizens.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that guy
It's
is
really
focused
ridiculous.
on all the wrong things. Because why are you even tweeting in the first place?
Why are you tweeting?
Like, I mean, as frequently as he does on some nonsense.
About BS. Like, what?
Going after other people for no good reason.
No, but here, so let's talk about the Democratic National Debate. Days, you said you watched it. I saw
did.
some recap of it after it was over.
Yeah,
What'd you think of it?
I mean, I watched it on the tail end because it was like 3 hours long. It was
Way too
very
long.
long.
Way
It
too
was
long.
a very long debate. I didn't think that it needed to be that long, so I caught the last hour. And I think that I caught it like right
At a
where
good
everything
time.
was getting heated and like people were already like riled up and like so, you know, a couple people definitely went after Joe. Like one in particular, I forget his name. He's like one of the Latino presidential candidates. But he was like
Julian Castro.
Yeah, Julian
Yeah.
Castro was like, Joe, did you forget what you just said? Joe, did you just said it, like insinuating that Joe's memory is like not so great because of his age, which wasn't the right angle to go at. And so I think that he was trying to make a name for himself, but doing it at the expense of ageism. And
That's messed up.
which is very terrible. So, but Joe also didn't do well. Like he was just going around in circles. He wasn't able to answer questions properly. Other people had better responses, and like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, I think that those are the really top contenders. Kamala also did really well.
I don't know. I saw Kamala. She looked like she had some Chardonnay before it. She was talking so slow.
She was very relaxed.
That's what I'm saying.
She probably did
She
because
probably
I
smoked
saw.
a little bit.
But I was watching
You know,
something.
I had a brownie before I came out
But
here.
that's how she talks.
today, And
But no, she does talk
I
so
just
like
want
that,
to say to all the people out there that black girls rock.
You are terrible.
But I was like, dang, like what's she on? Like I need to get some of that. Relax my nerves.
She always talks.
She does, but
She doesn't always talk like that. I've seen her talk way
I've seen her
faster.
talk fast before.
I was
Yeah.
watching an
A little
interview
bit.
I was watching an interview that Angela Wright did with her, and she was asking her about like the rumors regarding like her putting away black people for some.
Yeah.
It was some judicial
Back in the
shit
day.
or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she was talking slow, but then I seen another interview, or it wasn't another interview, but it was like commentary, and this lady, she was basically like attacking Kamala, like saying that she was very like she came like with full force or something. I don't know what, I forgot what it was regarding, or like if it was about the debate or whatever, but she was like saying that Kamala was just being like overt, or like she was, I don't know, being like, dang, I don't know the word to say. She wasn't like, I don't know.
Telling the truth.
She wasn't telling the truth. She wasn't being honest. She
Not
wasn't.
that. She was being like,
Ducking and dodging.
oh my God, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. I mean,
Anyways,
I think Kamala is one of the top 4 at least, for sure. She's within the top 4. But my problem with these candidates is they just cannot get it together, and that's why our Republican Party has always gone against against our party, is because we just can't seem to come to terms on certain issues like healthcare and the student loan crisis and the immigration laws and like a number of like big ticket issues. These are big ticket issues that have a huge impact on the American society based on these decisions. They all have different ideas, and some of it has to be like, guys, you actually work together in the Senate. Some of you have to like get along or at least agree to disagree, because 2 of y'all have to be on the ticket. Like, one of you is going to be the president, but also one is going to be chosen for the vice president. So get it together.
For me, it's like, I don't know. I can't even take it seriously because it's a whole media event. They up there, like Andrew Yang said, they're up there with makeup and shit on, and they have to answer these questions that tries to pit them against each other because people want to see them fight against each other. Ooh, let's make this 3 hours of stupid shit interesting. You know, let's get a little fight in between the 2 candidates here, so we can get some cool snippets that we can put on Instagram and Facebook and get some clicks and likes, so that we can make people interested in this dumb shit.
And that's what they did.
Because none of them are really that charismatic. That's the issue. None of them are really as making people energized and energetic about the issue. Well, probably except for Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders.
Yeah,
but they're still pretty bland. You know, they're good for you. They're that oatmeal without the raisins or brown sugar. You know, who knows if you want it? You know, some old steel cut oats and you know, and you know, ain't got none of the good shit in it. It's just you know, straight up.
But Andrew Yang is one of the guys on the ticket, right?
Yeah.
Andrew is also giving away money. He's giving away to 10 people or something like that. He's giving away $1,000 a month or $120,000.
He's trying to test out his idea of the universal basic income, which
you got to go online, apply online for why you think you deserve $1,000 a month and what you would do with it. And he's giving it away to 10 people so that they can get $1,000 a month, because that's his idea, is that if we give Americans at least $1,000 or within that realm, they'll be able to live a better life.
And they're actually testing out that idea like in Stockton and in different parts of the country. It's called the universal basic income.
Wow.
But what gets me is that, like, how come none of those Democrats talked about the fact that Trump had invited the Taliban to Camp David? You know, Camp David is this historic place, the retreat, the president's retreat, where major peace accords were signed and discussed. So he brought the Taliban. Remember, who the Taliban were. They were the ones controlling Afghanistan at the time that the terrorist attacks happened. They gave safe harbor to Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. They were, orchestrating with Al-Qaeda with the attack. So Donald Trump was going to have the Taliban come to Camp David to talk and shoot the shit on September 11th, on the anniversary of 9/11.
So disrespectful.
Trash!
And the thing is that the Taliban,
that guy is
the reason why it didn't happen was the Taliban said, hey, look, I don't think we can land there.
What a corrupt man.
That's very disrespectful.
Super disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
So what gets me in particular is that nobody's bringing up stuff like this and just the hypocrisy, because if Obama would have did this, they would have tried to impeach him.
Okay.
Like yesterday.
Right.
So what gets me is that just the consistencies of saying, like, look at like what we've normalized here, and look at what we have to pull back to, because that gives us more vision instead of just saying like, oh, he's bad, he's terrible. I mean, you can say that all the time, but let me just talk about specifics.
But the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, it's so much stuff, but they need to be specific and be directed at something that they wish to change or hope to do.
And go after the Republicans and stop going after each other.
That's
exactly.
Why go after each other?
Yeah, I agree. But I do think that, as much as we talk about the nonsense, I do think it is important for our generation as well as other generations to just stay updated and informed and to at least know what's going on. You know what I mean? So even if you can't watch the whole thing, watch clips of it, or at least know what these presidential candidates stand for. As we prepare for the 2020 election. Please get this man out of office.
Yeah.
Please. Not my president.
He cannot.
So, what's happening? You're talking about something in Inglewood.
Yeah, there's some drama in Inglewood, y'all. Some corruption. The Mayor Butts has James Butts.
Yeah.
I know. Devin's last name is Butts. His assistant was escorted out of City Hall, out of the office recently, and there is speculation that they had a relationship going on behind the scenes. There are pictures that came out that show them a little too tight and cozy in a photo. She's a very beautiful woman too, and she's a black woman.
I'm sure.
And he also, is going through a separation right now with his wife. So there is some issues, and this amongst all of the building of the new stadium and all of the hoopla.
Which I drove past today.
It's looking good. Actually, it's going to be SoFi. They actually got the naming rights at the stadium. It's going to be called SoFi.
SoFi
Stadium.
SoFi Stadium.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it is huge.
So they've invested a lot.
So they got the naming rights for I think 20 years.
Wow. The exclusive SoFi Stadium. Well, y'all, it's coming together, but the city of Inglewood got some little things going on in the background. So y'all watch where your money going.
Yeah, because I heard that this is not the first staffer who has been let go, meaning that they don't show up weekly, but they're still on the payroll.
Right.
But there's a few city staffers that are like that. They just disappeared, stopped showing up, but they're still getting paid the benefits and the salary.
Right. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, one of the guys, he's still getting paid like $400,000 a year.
And he don't go to work.
He don't go to work.
Nope. I ain't been to work in like 5 years.
Let me start.
City of Inglewood, we calling your name right now. Okay? Put us out there.
Sign us up right now. You giving out checks and shit.
Right. Damn it. That's what we got, for today. Any last comments? Any things y'all want to tell people as we approach the new week? New information coming out.
Oh, you guys, horror nights.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about going.
Universal Horror Nights. So which horror nights? Because they're hosted by Magic Mountain, Universal. Okay, great. Well, I'm gonna go on the.
But you know what? Do you guys? Okay, I want to know. Do you guys think that Not Scary Farm is less scary than Universal, or Universal is less scary than Not? I mean, both of them are scary. Okay. Both of them are scary.
I think Universal has better production. I feel like Knott's is just as good though with their amazing.
Knott's is actually the first time that we've ever went, and when I tell you I had never been so
scared.
I
say it was like a movie, okay?
It was definitely what I like running at top speed.
We need to reenact that, okay? We really need to reenact.
Literally running at top speed. Stopped. The guy was still behind me. I had to zoom. Honestly, I've never been so scared. Since then, it hasn't been as scary.
I don't think. Well,
but Universal is scary. The makeup is it looks so.
I will agree with Darren. The production, as far as their costumes and everything, they're legit bomb.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as scary as Knott's. I think Knott's is really scarier. I think my personal opinion, Not Scary Farm is scarier than Universal.
I might
because when we went Daisy that one year and it was Walking Dead or whatever, I was scared, obviously, but I wasn't as scared as I was at Not Scary Farm.
At Universal, you're standing in a damn line for 3 hours. You could come out of a stroke out there if you needed to.
Yeah, honestly, I'm getting the fast pass.
The mazes, though. I would say the mazes in Universal Studios. I guess that's what people.
The mazes at Universal Studios are, and it's worth it to get the fast pass. Like, I'm not standing it. We did that before where we sit in the line for hours.
Yeah, no, that's
and you don't get a chance to attend all the
enjoy the whole party.
Right. You've been standing in line most of the
time.
So
it's actually, and you got to go again just to get to the mazes. So you might as well just buy the fast pass and go
get there early.
And get there early. Get there early. Get the fast pass.
I'd be open to go.
Yeah.
I have to do more fun.
Well, I'll be there on the 29th, so, we're going to see what about that. Anything else? Anthony, you got some final words?
I'll catch y'all for Christmas time with the stuff that's more joyful and celebratory. I'm not going to that scary stuff. Y'all have fun.
Right. Well, we need to go to, what is the Grinchmas? Grinchmas at Universal.
Beautiful.
I want to do that.
I'll see you there.
Grinchmas is really fun. I actually really like it. And they have like Whoville, and they have like black people hoods in their noses. Like, that's cute.
Oh, you got black hoods?
Yeah, they got black hoods.
Hootie Whoville?
Hootie Whoville.
What is Hootie
Whoville? And the black hoods be like real like hip hop, because they do performances. And they be rapping and stuff. It's like,
I cannot take it.
That's what we should go to.
Right. Okay.
It might be a little racist, but it's still.
Right. Wait. This past Friday was Friday the 13th, and thank God nothing bad happened.
Did you see the new moon?
Yeah, and the full moon.
The full moon was actually
the harvest moon.
The harvest
moon.
And it's not gonna be like that for another
20-something years.
I thought it was 47 or something.
Oh, really? Yeah. It was because it was Friday the 13th and also a harvest moon.